The other thing you want to be learning in Cashback 101 is just because you can doesn't mean you have to. Just because you're going to get 2, 3, 4, 5% cash back on a particular category does not mean you go out of your way to spend on that category. It's very nice getting a small discount, some cash back, only if you are already going to be doing that behavior. Otherwise, you're just wasting money. How long should you be at this level? At a minimum 12 months. There is absolutely no rush to go to the next tier, because in the next tier, there's going to be more bells and whistles. And if you don't have the basics of credit cards locked down, the basics of cashback locked down, you are going to fail miserably. Spend the time here to really learn and be comfortable having a credit card that might have some rewards. Be comfortable having a credit card because some people might have only been using a debit card up to this point, and having credit is very different. Don't get caught up in the glamour of, oh, I've got a credit card and it's got a $10,000 credit limit. If you don't have $10,000 in the bank, you don't have $10,000 credit limit. All right? Like this is the most foundational basics of getting higher up the X credit card ladder. But if you can't figure this out, you cannot progress. Now I say 12 months minimum. Honestly, for some folks, it could be 24 months, but there is no rush. The cards are going to be there. I just need you to be fully comfortable once you get to that next level. Card recommendations. There's really only one card I really like from American Express at this level, and it's called the American Express Blue Cash Everyday. This card gives you things like 3% cash back for grocery, for gas, for retail, up to a combined spend of, I believe it's $6,000. But again, it's giving you some of those elevated categories so that you're like, hey, you know what? That's kind of nice. I buy groceries. It's nice to get 3% cash back. In addition, the card has no annual fee, and it also comes with some credits. Basically, the card is giving you back some amount of money, and this time it's specifically Disney credits. This is pretty rare at a card at this level where it has no annual fee, but you can see that if you are not comfortable understanding credit cards, understanding cash back, and juggling credits, at the next level, when we introduce an annual fee, it's just not going to work out. My pro tips and recommendations at this level. One thing you might want to consider is not just leveraging your own spend, but can you leverage your friend's spend? Basically, you go out to dine and there's 10 people. Are you aware enough, smart enough, and or capable enough of saying, hey, 10 people are eating out. I get a card that gives me 3% cash back on dining. I should put down my card, get the point, and I should Venmo charge everyone. Because that is really what's going to accelerate your progression through this ladder and to make sure you get the most bang for buck from all of your American Express cards. The second thing I want you to be aware of is the fact that American Express has this thing called pop-up jail. You're not going to run into the problem at this level, but it basically just means when you go and apply for American Express card, you might get a pop-up. And the pop-up might say, American Express Membership Rewards Program 101. Namely, do you understand what American Express membership reward points are? Do you know how to value them? Do you understand the difference between transferring to a hotel and transferring to an airline partner? Do you know the difference between just redeeming your points as kind of this quasi cashback versus actually transferring them to an airline or hotel partner? Do you know the valuable airline and hotel partners that American Express partners with? Can you confidently sit there and say, hey, I've got American Express credit card and I've got 50,000 points and I know where to put them for the max value? See, these are the type of things that almost has to be like clockwork to be able to get max value at the next level. But this is really where you're going to start dabbling in that world. Second objective, understanding mile point 101. Meaning, let's say you actually are not just going to get a generic credit card from American Express to get membership award points. You're going to get a Delta card or you're going to go get a Marriott card, okay? Do you understand the value of those respective miles and points and how you're going to go ahead and redeem them? That is going to be critical because if you live, let's say, out of a American Airlines hub, but you get a American Express card from Delta, well, probably not that valuable. If your corporate policy is you must stay at Hyatt hotels, but you decide to get a Marriott credit card from American Express, again, probably not that helpful. So at this level, you're really starting to think about, this is the American Express credit card ladder. At the very bottom, we have very generic basic credit cards from American Express that offer you just a piece of plastic and some cash back. However, as you go further up the ladder, you start getting access to credit cards that might give you things such as exclusive shopping discounts or elite status or even things like 98% discounts on luxury travel. Of course, to get to that level, you have to make sure that you're doing the right things along the way as you're climbing the ladder and learning the proper things. Now, thankfully, since you follow me, John, for all the daily finance tips, I'm going to go over with you my definitive guide on how to climb the American Express credit card ladder in 2026. I'm going to go over for you every single rung of this ladder, starting at the very bottom with our beginner credit cards, then moving to our mid-tier cards, then to our premium tier cards, and at the very top, we have our ultra exclusive premium tier. And the thing about the American Express credit card ladder is that it used to to be something that was more kind of a suggestion, meaning you could follow it, you don't have to. But with American Express coming out with stricter and stricter card application rules and just general bonus qualification rules, it's become more important than ever that you fully understand this ladder. And honestly, in my recommendation, follow along so that you are able to get the most valuable cards from American Express in what I would think is the shortest amount of time possible. And for each rung of the ladder, I'm going to go over for you what I think of as the minimum credit score that you would require, the objectives as you at that level, aka what you actually need to learn so that you can progress forward, how long you should expect to stay in that ladder, not just from application rules perspective, but really so you're comfortable as you get to the next level. Some cards that I recommend that are really strong for that particular level, and I'll round it out with some of my personal pro tips. And as always, folks, if you're interested in any cards, I do have working links in the description box, some of which are giving out all-time high offers. So feel free to go ahead and check them out there. All right, let's jump in. Level 1 of the American Express credit card ladder. Here are our beginner credit cards, and the only criteria to qualify to be in here really is having no annual fee associated. The credit score, what I would typically recommend is a credit score at a minimum of about 670. The type of persona I would see here is somebody who is brand new to credit cards or somebody who has just recently graduated. They've gotten their first job, or somebody who's actually currently in college, but their parents added them as an authorized user onto their credit profile, so they do have some sort of a credit score and they can jump in at this level. Objectives of this level, there's really only two. The first, you're learning credit cards 101, meaning you are learning the difference between what the statement close date is and the due date. You are learning about what the difference is between the minimum balance, that you're going to pay off versus the statement balance you're going to pay off. You're learning about why it's important to always make on-time payments. And most importantly, you are learning that a credit card is credit, aka borrowed money. It is not your money. Meaning, if you don't make the full payment, you only make minimum payments, you are just crewing up interest out the wazoo. Alright? You have to, at this level, be confident in understanding what the heck is a credit card and how the heck are you actually using it. I'll even teach you the pop quiz. Do you think that you should pay your credit card bill off on the due date or right before the statement close date? Most of you probably think, well, the due date. Well, let me tell you, if you actually pay it off, majority 98% before the statement close date, you could probably just boost your credit score like that off rip. These aren't things that a credit card company is going to tell you, but you have to learn these at this base level because this sets the foundation for everything else. So that's the first thing, learning credit cards 101. The second thing here is you're learning cashback 101 because at this level, these cards are going to give you maybe 1%, 2%, 3% cashback. And it's important when you've got two things going on that you're able to juggle both. That one, how credit cards work, but also that how to optimize your spend categories. As an example, you go buy a lot of groceries. Well, you should probably get a card that gives you elevated cash back on groceries, right? Let's say you don't travel. Well, then you probably shouldn't get a credit card that's going to charge you an annual fee and is going to give you 2 or 3% on